before we jump right into the session, I will introduce our speaker for today. So, the speaker we have today, her name is Aisha, and okay, and she would like to share a book review on a book titled Cinderella is Dead by Kathleen Barron, which includes domestic violence, women rights, and gender equality. And she is currently studying in Diploma in Communication and Media at KDU University. She is also a Mouse youth advocate and Girl to Leader My Ambassador. So I think without wasting any time, I pass this session to Aisha.
Okay, so can everyone hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, is it lagging or anything? Is it okay?
I think it's a bit lagging.
You can start now. Oh, is it? Alamak.
Oh yeah, Aisha. How about if you
Is it
turn
okay now?
off your camera? Maybe mm, it could help with the connection.
Is it better now? Okay, is it okay now?
I think so. Yeah.
So, I'm gonna just start now. Is it okay?
Yeah, yeah. You can start.
Everyone can hear me, right? Aisyah kalau my internet tak kuat.
I think the volume is okay.
Okay. So, Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. Hope everyone's doing great. First of all, thank you on my inspiring favorite book. So, myself first. So, my name is Aisha. I'm 18 years old, currently studying communication and media at KDU University. I'm also known as Mouse Youth Advocate and Girl to the Malaysia. I've been reading my book reviews on my bookstagram, feel free to follow. I read since I only read for fun, but this time I started to do writing. In other words, it's called as tappings and try to understand the book more.
I'm so sorry, Aisha. Sorry to interject. Your audio is still very
So since I haven't shared it with you guys, so
Aisha.
usually I would put in my books like small sticky notes like yellow for happy scenes, blue for sad scenes, pink for cute scenes, and green for inspiring or favorite quotes. So reading has been like an escape from reality for me. If you guys know me, I'm actually struggling with depression, stress. So reading. Oh, kenapa ni? I was using my hotspot just now. Maybe my Wi-Fi. Sekarang I pakai Wi-Fi. Is it okay now?
Yeah, way better now. I,
Okay. So
okay.
what was the last one that you guys heard just now?
When you were telling us that
So sorry.
when you belajar your diploma, literally.
Ah, I see. Okay. So okay. I've been reading and share my book reviews on my Bookstagram. Feel free to follow Aisha Reads. Actively this year since, if not mistaken, March 2021. Before this, I only read for fun, but this time I started to do a lot of book tabbings and try to understand the book more. Like if you see in this book, there's a lot of book tabbings here for like green for favorite quote or inspiring quotes, blue for sad scenes, what else? Yellow for happy scenes or what is it called? New characters, and pink for cute scenes. So reading has been like an escape from reality for me, away from toxicity and more. So if you guys know me, I'm actually struggling with depression and post-traumatic stress disorder. So reading has helped me a lot in improving my mental health and escape from the reality of life. So today I will be sharing my book review on Cinderella is Dead by Callan Barron, a Cinderella retelling and a fantasy young adult standalone book. You don't have to like buy another book for you to finish this book, because this is just a standalone. It's not a series. So this is how the book looks like. The book cover itself already catches my attention with the portrait of the main character, Sophia. She's wearing Cinderella's dress filled with injuries and dirt all over her, basically describing what the book is about. So this book tells a story about a kingdom. It's called as Kingdom of Parrot, who has a very cruel king. The name of the king is King Manford, where everyone in the kingdom must obey to everything he orders with strict laws for women. Women basically were treated unfairly, they were forced to get married, they cannot hold any money, wealth, or even hold any weapons. As an example, in page 46 and 47, I'm just going to read it to you guys. Trigger warning, it's a domestic violence scene. So when Sophia went to a seamstress shop to buy something her mother asked her to buy, she saw a little boy crying, and she heard a woman screaming. So she asked the boy what was happening, and then the boy said, "My father, he's yelling at my mother. He's always yelling at her." And then a loud crash followed by a woman's scream pierces the momentary silence. And then she went upstairs to understand what is happening. Maybe some people would say, why would she even bother with other people's issues? Why would she be a busybody? But if you guys were her, you guys would also like be worried if you guys hear someone screaming, right? So and then she heard a man saying, "My father, he's yelling at my mother." You've kept the money. You've kept the money from me, haven't you? He bellows. Then comes a woman's voice. No, I would never. Every cent you make belongs to me. And then there is a loud thump, like someone ran into the door at the top of the stairs, and the door creaks open a few inches, and she stepped up into onto the landing and peeked inside. And then the woman said, "I know that. I swear I work hard." And then the seamstress cowers against the wall of the small upstairs room, and then tears stain her face. And then her husband stands over her, his fist clenched. "Then what is it? There's so little money in this pouch. I wonder why you even bother. Either you're a terrible seamstress or you've been keeping the money for yourself." And then basically in this book she was abused, and I was so emotional when reading this. Like, why is why are women being treated this way? So um so that's the domestic violence in this book. I will share more on domestic violence later on. So let's just continue with the synopsis first. So every year there will be a ball where all 16-year-old women must be chosen, or else forfeited, where they must attend the ball, or else they will be forfeited or executed. And if they are not chosen, then there will be consequences. And then those who got chosen will have to marry each other, or else there will be consequences. It's unfair actually, as men will still be safe and living the way it is, and not compulsory for them to attend the ball. But women, this made me super emotional to see how women being treated like trash. So the main character of this book, Sophia, a young brave lady, doesn't want to be chosen, and she's afraid that the girl she loves, Erin, will be chosen. So basically, Erin is Sophia's best friend and also Sophia's crush. But Erin thinks that being in love with someone with the same gender is wrong. But Sophia never gave up on Erin and keep on protecting her from danger. So on the night of the ball, Erin was chosen by a man who Sophia hates so much. So basically, the man is a very cruel man, and he's rich. He's most likely someone like the cruel King King Manford. So it was a forced marriage, and Aaron had to get along with it in order to not be executed. So Aaron was abused, not allowed to get away from her husband's house. She cannot run away from the toxic relationship, and couldn't even meet her own parents. So pushed beyond breaking a society that denies everything Sophia is, Sophia sets out on a journey that will remake her world into one where she gets to choose. So on the night of the ball, Sophia managed to run away, and she went to the castle's the underground castle, and she found Cinderella's tomb. Basically, Cinderella is in the coffin, and in this book, Cinderella has been dead for 200 years already. But she still looked like Cinderella. She doesn't look old, or she doesn't look like how a person would look like after 200 years of being dead. But yeah, and she also met a young lady. Her name is Constance, who happens to be Gabrielle, which is Cinderella's stepsister's sixth niece. Then finally, Cinderella's real story is exposed, and then she knew that all the fairy tale story isn't what people expected. When I was reading this, I feel like, oh, my fairy tale is ruined. The story that I was told to when I was little isn't the one I'm reading right now. So um, they went on an adventure to find the fairy godmother, and finally everyone knew who King Manford really is. And at the end of the book, Sophia managed to change the society, and Constance became the new queen of Kingdom of Arid. So yeah, of course, in this book, at the end, the fairy godmother died. Oh my god, I think I just did a spoiler. Sorry. Okay, just only one. Okay, I'm really sorry. But they managed to make a better place for all, not only women but men as well. So even though the society, especially men against it, a lot has happened. A lot. I mean, they managed to make the world, make the society a better place again. So basically, this book is super mind blowing, and the plot twist is just I felt like spoiling this book so bad when I read this because we finally know who Fairy Godmother is. We know the real story of Cinderella. We know who is actually King Manfred. What else? And yeah, there are so many things that I couldn't expect, but I don't want to spoil it here. But I love how brave is Sophia, and I cried my eyes out at the end of the story. So there's a bit of trigger warning in this book. If you guys are not okay with reading something that includes abuse, domestic violence, I wouldn't recommend this to you guys. But seriously, if you guys are interested in books that include strong female characters, that includes things about human rights, gender equality, this book is for you. Reading this book made me emotional, sad, mad, everything because women are tortured, abused, treated unfairly, and I couldn't accept it. But I totally love this book, and you guys should read this, and I tell you, you're gonna love it. So one of the inspiring quotes that made me empowered in this book is when Sophia said that I don't want to be saved by some knight in shining armor. I would like to be the one in an armor, and I would like to be the one doing the saving. When I heard that, when I heard that, when I read that quote, I was like, yes, girl, and I quickly find a green book tabbing, and I quickly tap the book and I read it so many times to make myself inspired and to be a better person. So what I learned from this book is that this is the reality of life. Even though we are in a modern world, women are still treated unfairly. Women still live in a man's shadow. We don't get equal pay. There are still women suffering, struggling, and there are still cases like sexual harassment, sexual assault, rape. What else? As I mentioned just now, domestic violence. But I don't say that only women are getting this unfair treatment. Even men are getting the unfair treatment. So basically, um, how do I say this? So basically, I hope that there will be more awareness regarding this and things will get better and we bring a safer place for all. So yeah, that's all on the book review. So let's move on to domestic violence. So as I mentioned earlier, in this book, women are treated unfairly, abused by men, forced to be in a marriage, and so on. The question is, what is domestic violence? Domestic violence occurs when a person consistently aims to control their partner through physical, sexual, or emotional abuse. It is defined as a pattern of abusive behavior in any relationship that is used by one partner to gain or maintain control over another intimate partner. Domestic violence can be physical or psychological, and it can affect anyone of any age, gender, race, or sexual orientation. It may include behaviors meant to scare, physical harm, or control a partner. And while every relationship is different, domestic violence typically involves an unequal power dynamic in which one partner tries to assert control over the others in a variety of ways. So, as an example, insults, threats, emotional abuse, and sexual coercion all constitute as domestic violence. Some perpetrators they may use children, pets, or other family members as emotional leverage to get the victim to do what they want. As an example, the man would say to the wife, if you try to do something, if you try to call the police, if you try to report to the police, something bad will happen to your child, something bad will happen to your pet, your cat, your dog, and anything like that. So, domestic violence victims of domestic violence experience diminished self worth, anxiety, depression, and a general sense of helplessness that can take time and often they need professional help to overcome. So, why do I say the scene where the seamstress was scolded by her husband defined as domestic violence? So, as I've mentioned earlier, domestic violence includes emotional abuse, physical abuse, and so on. So, this is classified as domestic violence. People would say this is just a way to teach wife to respect their husband, blah, blah, blah. But no, this is wrong. Women should be treated the way she was supposed to be treated. If let's say a wife says no to her husband, asking him to do sexual things, but he did it anyways, it's called rape and also classified as domestic violence. So why do they become abuses? So basically, abuse is driven by the desire for control, to maintain power in the relationship and assume a position of superiority. Violence also involves troubling cultural norms, particularly in cases of men sexually assaulting women. Whether the brain perceive the partner as part of the self or not may also play a role. So how do we identify an abusive partner is, how do we identify an abusive partner is, abusers aren't easy to spot. In public, they can seem smart, trustworthy, and charming with a personality that draws people in. But in private, they are a waking nightmare. So many abusers learn violence from their family and repeat the toxic patterns with their own partner or children. They are also more likely to have legal and substance abuse problems. Heterosexual male abusers often believe in traditional gender roles, particularly that a woman's main priority should be to care for their partner and children. They have to be in control and are especially prone to jealousy, accusing their partner of cheating without any reason, or needing to know where their partner is at all times. So I think this has turned to a webinar about domestic violence instead of a book review. But any questions regarding the book, maybe where to buy it or anything, or you want to know more on how do I start reading or anything, I'm open for some questions because I think I spoke like too fast. So if you guys have any questions, yeah. It's AYE. No, my bookstagram is AYESYAREADS. Ayesha Reads. It's most likely like my nickname. I don't usually like I don't want people to know me much on my bookstagram because I think I'm a whole different person in my bookstagram. Yeah. So do I have any? Do you guys have any questions? Because I think I spoke too fast and it's only 9:30 right now. So yeah.
Is there anyone that wants to ask anything? Or maybe, yeah, sure, Aisha, maybe you can just like share with us how you start reading.
Okay. So when on last year when I was diagnosed with depression, when I went to meet my psychiatrist, they the psychiatrist basically asked me to find things that makes me happy, find things that makes me forget about things that makes me sad. So I feel like, okay, what am I gonna do? What am I like how do I escape from the reality of life and so on? And so I decided that I wanted to do reading. I want to start reading. So I've been seeing a lot of videos on TikTok, YouTube on book reviews. So I started to read this year after I finally finished SPM. So my first book was Miraj by Somaya Daud. It is a book by an Islamic author. It also includes strong female characters. So basically, the books that I'm interested is books that include strong female characters. So I'm gonna share with you guys the books that include strong female characters. So of course, the first one is Cinderella is Dead. It's about gender equality, women rights, domestic violence, and here is it. So here is the heroine in this book. And then we have The Witch's Heart. So if you guys watch Marvel, if you guys know Loki, so this book is about Loki's wife. So basically, this book is about a mother who is very loyal, even though her husband treats her unfairly, but she still is strong for her own children. She has a few children. She has a she has a few children, and her husband even called her and her children monsters because she's a witch, because she's a witch and so on. And then the daughter is half dead, and if not mistaken, there's two sons. One of them is a snake, and another one is a wolf. So basically, people look down on her, and basically we can see a strong mother in this book. And then we also have what else? We have Legend Born. I only have read this book until 30 page 32. So there's I don't know much about this book, but there's a lot of scenes that includes women being independent, women being strong, and so on. And then we have Roseblood. What else? We have Sky Hunter. So I've actually been reading almost all these books this year, alhamdulillah. Because seriously, when I ended my SPM, I quickly just switch off all my phone, my computer, and everything, and I just read the whole day. Because I feel like I don't want to be so stressed out with my life, so I just read. And yeah, before this, I was really people don't call me antisocial. People call me book social. No, anti-social or anti-book. I don't know. I don't remember, but when do you watch Read with Cindy by any chance? If not mistaken, I've watched it before. I think I just watched it just now. But I'll check. I will definitely check it out. So, do you guys have any other questions? Because I feel so shy right now. It's so awkward. Oh, I share the Cinderella story, right? Kind of the main character refused to settle down to get married with Prince Charming. I would like to know your opinion on how the situation relates to your life as a gentleman, young adult. Get married with Prince Charming. For me lah kan, it's our rights tau. If we want to get married or not, it is our body, our life. Why would we have to like be forced to get married? Why do we have to like listen to other people's orders? Like it's our life, so let when it comes to like sexual harassment, sexual assault. Basically, if sexual harassment, sexual assault, those are things that without consent. So basically, getting married, but in the Cinderella story, she refused to settle down to get married with Prince Charming. So that's basically if she had to get married with that, then it's without consent. So it's I don't know. But I think I've explained it tadi. I still related to it. So yeah. Did I answer your question? I hope I answered the question just now. OMG, start a booktube channel. Need more Malaysians. Zika audience. I want to do
Aisha, I think there's also a few questions previously.
oh really?
There's also someone asked, do you have a Goodreads account?
I see. Sorry. I didn't. I wasn't scrolling up there.
It's okay.
I I do have a Goodreads account, but I'm not really active on it because I don't know how to use it. Under report cases on domestic violence. Um, Basically, to understand more, under report cases means people who did not report. Is it? Macam mana?
Yeah, I think Mahira ada macam further explain on the latest one. Do you have any thoughts on domestic violence during this pandemic? Like, how do you advise for those tengah lalui and their mental health?
Um, I have a few. I mean, I've known a few of my friends sharing their family. I mean, their mother going through domestic violence and so on. And I feel sad about it actually. Like, I don't get why domestic violence is happening. Like, they are dealing with if the men are dealing with um, issues with money and so on, they should be talking good. No, not talking good. They should be discussing it with his wife because that's um, the point of getting married. Men and women should complete each other. So I don't understand why domestic violence is happening. But for me lah, as a person who actually sees domestic violence happening, I totally understand why why they don't report on domestic violence. Maybe because of their children, maybe because of financial issues. But for me, I think it's best to report because obviously when we report, there will be solutions. There will be things that the police will do. If not mistaken, they will be taken care with by the JKM and something like that. So if you guys are seeing or know if you guys know that domestic violence is happening around you and your or maybe somewhere around you, tell them that it's okay, just report on domestic violence. Don't You don't have to think about your children or anything yet, because the thing is, these things will be solved when you go for a report. There will be the um apa tu panggil, jalan dia, the process that they will like the children will be taken care by JKM, something like that. If I'm not mistaken, I've been to a domestic violence workshop before, so I think that's what I understand. I'm sorry if I didn't respond it the way you wanted, but yeah.
Okay, may I add?
Mm-hmm.
So well, coincidentally, I just did an assignment related to domestic violence.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, when we were doing assignments, we have to do a lot of research, and we read a lot of papers and everything. So the thing about domestic violence in Malaysia, the first cause of it is actually because they don't know it's a domestic violence. They thought it's it's normal for the partner to hit or to do to perform the violence onto the partner themselves. So it could be, of course, in most cases the husband would would hit the wife. But there are, obviously, I believe everyone here also knows that there are also cases where the wife hits the husband. For example, for the most clearest, the most popular example we have is Johnny Depp and his wife. So okay, back to Malaysia. First of all, we do not know that certain things are actually a domestic violence. All they thought was like, oh, this is normal for my husband or for my wife to hit me because I did something wrong, so I deserve to be hit. That's the first case. I mean, that's the first cause. They don't know. So like the first thing we need to do is to always speak out that domestic violence happen and what they are going through is domestic violence, which is wrong. And then second, because the partner is either alcoholic or drug addict, or I mean those two are the most popular reasons, but there are also cases where we don't talk about it enough, when the partner is actually has anger issues. Well, I personally I have temper as well. I have my own temper as well. And I cannot say that handling anger, one's anger is easy. It is not easy. I have been living in this body for 22 years, and it's never easy. I rarely get mad. But when I am, it's so hard. You know, it feels like all this, fire building up inside me, and it's just so hard to padam, to padam the api, to padam the anger. But my solution is I stay quiet. I stay quiet, and I isolate myself, because I do not want to hurt people around me, because I know when I am mad, when I am angry, it results in something worse. Yeah. Okay, so that's why, the I think the least we can do is just isolate ourselves. I would always, I mean, I think lucky me, my family and friends would always notice when I'm mad, because I cannot hide it from my face. So they know when I'm mad. So I do not have to tell them that I am mad, stay away from me. But some people, they don't know how to show it. So that's why people, when someone come near to them, they just want to talk about something else. Like husband and wife, especially, they share the same room. They would talk all the time. So that happens. So the anger issues, alcoholic and drug addicts, those are the people that needs to seek professional help, I would say, right? um Moving on to their mental health, I wouldn't have the answer for, what can we help, how can we help with their mental health and stuff like that. But what I can say from, from the research I have done for my assignments, they can actually run to the nearest hospital, and get someone to help them, because if I'm not mistaken, there is a number that they can give the hospital, or the clinic they can provide to the victim, if we uh, if we tell them that we are in a situation like that. But okay, fun fact, do you guys know Malaysia, our country did not, um what's the word, macam Malaysia, kita tak anggap domestic violence as a law punya case, actually, sebab they thought it's between husband and wife until 1994 something. Then baru mahkamah, apa, mahkamah what, um not usulkan, announce that, yes, enact the Domestic Violence Act, yes, at the parliament, yes. And they put it under the kanun keseksaan something. But it's just, that shows how Malaysia is very behind when it comes to domestic violence. Yes, hal rumah tangga tersendiri je lah. Okay, that's one. Another thing that breaks my heart. Can you imagine? Domestic violence is between husband and wife. But if we, I, I would like to also include the violence that's happening between a couple, boyfriend and girlfriend.
Mhm.
If what's happening between a husband and a wife, they can say hal rumah tangga settle sendiri. Can you imagine what the girlfriend and boyfriend went through, and how the police or the authorities would tell the victims? They would just like, korang kan tak kahwin lagi, macam siapa suruh bercinta? Ataupun korang kan tak kahwin lagi, siapa suruh pergi dating berdua? That's what they would say. You know, it breaks my heart so much, you know, it just, I'm so mad because,
I know, right?
yeah. So that's, yeah, the least we can do for now, stigmatized enforcement leads to unprotected civilians. Yes, true. So the least we can do for now is just, you know, like keep on telling people, keep on sharing about domestic violence, or yeah, basically it's a domestic violence lah. Oh, okay. Where 11 ada pernah
If not
mention
mistaken, sexual harassment pun tak ada law dia kan?
sexual harassment. I'm not sure about that one. Okay. Fir kata tak ada sexual harassment. How?
Because I've read the buku undang-undang, but there's no dia ada dalam, kalau yang kanak-kanak dalam apa tu, undang-undang kanak-kanak, perlindungan kanak-kanak, something like that. There's only like a few, tapi dia tak ada undang-undang tentang sexual harassment.
Yeah. Only kadang kesiksaan je. Okay, sorry, maybe I missed something. Laven would like to unmute and ask a question. Yeah, sure. Go on, Laven.
Hi everyone. Hi Aisha. Hi
Hello.
Shulan.
Hi.
First of all, shout out to Susan. Yes, IPCMC now. Let's make sure Indian people stop dying for no reason. Just gotta shout it out there. Thank you, Susan, for bringing it up. My thing for this is, uh, how do you guys feel about the difference between being abused and enabling abuse? Like for example, like that example in your book just now, where the mom is being abused and then the child is like, my dad keeps on hitting my mom and stuff like that, right? In most families, in most cases, the abusive father tends to hurt both the wife and also the children, right? So in that situation, there are also children who feel that the mother could have done more, the mother could have reported, so on and so forth, lah. This is just uh, I don't hold a side. It's just something that comes up sometimes, lah, on how child survivors usually feel about this, lah, where they feel like, since the child has less power than the mother, right? Like way less power than the mother. They're smaller, they're younger, less financial freedom. Like it's much less compared. But I'm not saying like suddenly the mother is like. I'm not saying uh, it's that simple. But imagine this kind of situation lah, where someone can be abused, but can also enable the abuse at the same time. Like a husband can abuse the wife and also sexually abuse um, their children both at the same time, and the mother can know and not do anything about it, right? And it happens all. It's a very uncomfortable conversation. Yeah, but from what I've noticed, for like the people that I've talked to, is also like surprisingly common, where a lot of child survivors feel like the parent could have done more. So it's like a very, even I have trouble thinking about this, because it's like, is it really fair for me to say that it's also your fault? Because like if I'm in your position and I'm scared to report, like I understand that I also would be scared to report. Sometimes I don't have like any way, like I don't have any financial freedom. I'm dependent on like one man, and then like what you want me to do, I have no choice. I understand that, but also I can understand it from the child's perspective, which is like, when you are a child, you are depending on your parents, and in a weird way, in a very roundabout way, it is also your parents' fault that you are in that position, can, in a very sad roundabout way. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up, lah. I just want to discuss that if anyone has any thoughts, lah. Because until now, I'm still not sure where I stand. Like, can someone can be abused and also enable the abuse at the same time? Yeah.
Aisha, do you want to go? Do you have anything to say about that? Or
Uh,
anyone else?
I wanna give an opinion tadi, tapi uh, I punya internet slow, so I tak dengar sangat the question.
Oh,
So maybe you can answer the question first ke?
okay,
Or do you
sure.
want me to?
No, it's okay sebab I pun lambat sikit nak faham. So macam I'm trying to understand. It's okay.
It's okay. That's okay. Um, Susan, whenever you're ready, you can just in like masuk, okay? So I'll just go first. So okay, yeah, you can type. So while you're typing, I'll just say my thoughts. So I think what Lavin said, the situation Lavin said just now actually happens a lot. It actually reminded me of this one movie. I think we've mentioned in one of our session about this movie, but I can't remember which one. I don't even remember the title because I haven't watched it, but my sisters, they told me about the movie. Hold on, let me check the title. Is it the right one? It's about the daughter being kept for so many years by the father, and the mother knew, but she didn't say anything. And also, the father raped the daughter for so many years. For all those years, he kept her under uh, in their basement, but the mother still did not say anything about it. So I think that's just what I want to add for that situation. Mm, okay. Fear said this is very complex, long conversation about traumatization, gaining closure, accepting the past, etc. Kanak-kanak tu kena be informed that their parents are adults with issues yang ada traumas themselves. And the mother pun kena admit that she could have done more as a parent. Sebelum kau nak ada anak, patut prepare yourself. True. I agree with that. The last line very, very much. Mahira said, was yourself? Mak dia kenapa? Yes. Lavin. Okay, it's fine. Alright. Well, I think Lavin did mention I think the most important point just now, which the mother or the wife felt they don't have anything on themselves if they report the husband. They don't have their own income. The house was basically paid by the husband. The children was, the father gave the money to the children, so she don't have anything. So if she reports the husband, who's going to help her to live after this, even though she knows that what he's doing is wrong. Fear at faham je women tak ada enough understanding. True. That's what. Okay. Again, we go back to the problem we have in Malaysia, which we don't know enough about these issues. The abuser purposely takes away all financial freedom, narcissistic abuse. Yes. They would always threaten the family, like, if you report me, I will take away all the money, or if you report me, I will take the car, if you report me, I will kick you out of the house. So the woman, the wife, the mother, the children will have nothing left. They will feel nothing left for them to live on after this. That's why they they let that keeps on happening. I think I also encountered with a lot of child that's been abused on TikTok as well. But TikTok is not really that, it's not really that dark, so they make it funny. But at the same time, we know that that's a problem. That's a huge problem. But yeah. Yep. So, well, I don't think this issue has a conclusion, right? Because we don't have the right policy or law to protect everyone, or to inform everyone about these issues, about domestic violence and stuff. Yep. So, but at least for me, I think at least we every like how many of us? 4, 8, 10? Are we 10? Yeah. Okay. At least 10 of us in this room knows about this. So maybe we can keep on talking about it, or like Aisha also mentioned, if we um have if we know anyone that is in this situation, we can always educate them and tell them what's wrong and what's right. Share, give them strength to encourage them to speak, to stand up for themselves. Okay. Susan said, personally, my mom was abused to the level of near death. I'm so sorry, but she stayed in Malaysia because she has no choice, have kids to take care of. I've talked about it before. Can check Mom's YouTube. Okay, sure. I also felt that my mother could have done better, at least prevent the cause of the abuse. Example, I got 1A for UPSR and my father beat me in public. In public, some more. She could have just hide the paper and say that I got straight A's, maybe. Yeah. Or hide the rotan from my father when he's drunk. We were abused, and I felt like she was also the enabler in certain situations. Yes. She, well, yeah. Hugs for you. Susan, we're so sorry that you had to go through that. Yep, okay. But again, maybe because your mom feels like your dad is the. Again, okay, yes. Um, the problem in Malaysia as well, I'm not sure about other people, other countries lah kan. But the problem in Malaysia is that we have this mindset of suami kita adalah oops, did you guys hear that? I'm sorry. Okay. All right. Sorry, just the thunderstorm. Anyway, the problem in Malaysia is that we all believe, at least Malay and I think Indian as well, I'm not sure Chinese, but we all believe that our husband is the ketua keluarga. So, whatever they do is right. Even though it's wrong, but it's right. Like that one, right? Like, right, the domestic abuse. I think our mothers know. I think, Susan, I think your mom, of course your mom knows that hurting you is the wrong thing, but because she has the mindset of like, oh, he's my husband, he's the leader of the family, he knows what to do. Even though she knows that it's wrong to especially beat you in public, right? Don't you guys think so? We have that very, very deeply planted in all our minds that, oh, suami adalah ketua keluarga, so they do everything. Everything they do is right, even though it's wrong. Domestic violence affects all races, full stops. Yeah, true. It's been so long since it's raining. Yeah, it was raining here just now. Yes, exactly, because my father earns the money from my family. See, it all goes back to that. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, before we get married, we have to work on ourselves first. We have to be better for ourselves in terms of whatever it is, financially or mentally, emotionally. We have to prepare all of that. Marriage. Thank you so much, Aisha, and everyone, and the session. Aisha Manifesting Booktube channel. Every adult should go for therapy, legit, sebelum nak ada anak. Yes, especially sebelum nak ada anak. Okay. It's 10:03 already. It's past our time. Loser Malaysia semua migrate, please. Okay. So thank you so much for this. Sorry. Before that, is anyone else wants to ask any questions? Aisha, do you want to add anything?
When someone shared when she was abused by her own family and all, I felt that too. Yeah, I just share with you guys lah. Which when I was little, I got satu soalan je salah in my maths, and I was kicked out of the house, and and I even saw my mom getting beaten up by my own father and so on. And when someone shared about it, I feel like okay, maybe I want to share as well because I don't know who to talk about these things and so on, and that's why I chose to talk about domestic violence today. And also in this book, it also includes that kan I cerita tadi yang the domestic violence scene. At the end, the seamstress was murdered because she chose to get away from the toxic relationship. She wants to leave the husband, and the kingdom decided to execute her, and she died, of course. And at the end of the story, as I said earlier, Constance, Cinderella's stepsister's sixth niece, became the queen and changed the law, and finally all those domestic violence things that doesn't happen anymore. So yeah, so basically all this domestic violence, if the law is very strict about it, I'm sure that there will be no domestic violence in the upcoming. So yeah, that's all from me.
True. Thank you, Aisha, for sharing that. I'm pretty sure it's not just Aisha, everyone as well as Susan as well. I'm pretty sure it was hard for you guys to share about to talk about this because it's a very personal um, experience. We appreciate it so much, and with us, you guys are heard and seen, and we know what you guys are going through. What you guys went through, it was very hard. You guys are amazing for turning up to be very knowledgeable and educated human being, advocates. Yes. All right. So I believe there's no one else wants to add anything. So I should end the session today here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming and for joining this session today. Don't forget, our reading club is every Friday, 9 p.m. If anyone is if anyone wants to share, wants to lead the session like Aisha did today, please just PM me. My number is in the I'm also in the Mao club, Mao group WhatsApp. My name is Ashura, so you guys can just look for me there, or maybe you guys can just contact Fear or Mahira first, and then they will forward that to me. So thank you so much. Again, oh, by the way, suggestion, Anna Akana in YouTube shares a lot of stuffs in there. Anna Akana. So you guys might want to check that out as well. All right. Thank you again, Aisha, for sharing this session today. And thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend and have a good night. You guys may leave this meeting now. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.